Hey, what's up, everyone? What I wanted to do here is I wanted to share one of my personal favorite games from the past, and a game that I don't think gets a lot of love as far as old school shooters from back in the day. And I'm going to talk about Airbuster or Aero Blasters because it had two different names. When I first saw this game, I walked into you used to go to the malls, and the malls would have arcades. And while everyone else went to do their shopping, I'd be out with my family, and they went to go shopping. And the first thing I wanted to do, especially at this time when I was a kid, I went straight to the arcade. So I remember I was at a mall back in the day, and this was a huge mall, and they had an exceptionally large arcade. It was so big, I remember I was able to kind of ditch my parents and my siblings, and I had a few quarters, and I went, and I remember this arcade was so large that it had an escalator, and I went down this escalator, and when I went down this escalator, there was a sign that said, "We have the latest arcade games," and this was back in like about 1991, and I remember going down this escalator and seeing all these different arcade cabinets, and I was like, the adrenaline that I was feeling at that time was like, the roof would have exploded. So I walked down, and I'm into this, basically a big arcade pit, and they had all these different games, and just imagine my excitement at that time. And I was walking past these different cabs, and back then you didn't have cellular phones, you didn't have cameras to capture game footage, but I remember this game very distinctly. It was called, it's got two different names, so don't get confused. In the arcade, this game was called Airbuster in the US. It was released under Namco's name. It was actually made by a game company called Kaneko, and they made this game. Now, what's so awesome about this game is what I'm going to show you on this screen right here. This is actually the Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis version of Aero Blasters, or actually Airbuster. You just put your /Airbuster. And here I have the game, the ROM running on MAME. So basically, this is the emulated version of Aero Blaster or Airbuster. This is the arcade title. So this game came out. Basically, it came out on the Grafx 16 and on the Sega Genesis or the Mega Drive. On this screen is the Mega Drive version. And let me tell you something. This game may not seem like it's that special, but it really is special, and it's for this reason I'm about to tell you. This game was two-player cooperative. Now, back in the 16-bit days, most of the time, even though they made good shooters on the 16-bit consoles, like the TurboGrafx and the Super Nintendo and also the Sega Genesis, a lot of times, if the game was two-player in the arcade, they would just take out the two-player mode, and as you can see, it's two-player. So they would just take that out. So that's one thing that made this game very special, and it's weird. It's one of those games that kind of stuck by me for many years. I always thought this game was great. I don't know. I can't really tell you exactly what it was that I just thought was so awesome about this game. But the basic premise, like a lot of shooters, is there's an alien invasion, and what it is basically you're part of a private mercenary firm. Actually, basically a company. The leader is Charles K. Takeda, and he has this firm, his own private firm with a mercenary fighter squad, and he employs his son and his daughter to fight against an alien invasion. And I thought that was kind of cool, and I always loved this game. I can't really tell you why. I just thought the design was excellent. I thought the ship design, just the premise, all the characters, and just there's a lot of cool things about this game. But and it's 2-player, you know. And the cool thing about the Mega Drive or the Genesis version that a lot of people don't appreciate, not only is it 2-player, but look how close it is to the arcade version. I mean, the sprites are very large. There's a lot of different colors, a lot of parallax scrolling. This was a very well done arcade conversion that a lot of people really don't appreciate, which is funny because you really don't see this. You didn't really see this that often in the 16-bit era. 2-player. Like I said, it also came out on the Grafx 16, but I'm just going to say for the record, I think the Mega Drive version was the best version of this game. So it's really good game. It's really a awesome shooter all the way through. I mean, it has about 8 stages, 2-player simultaneous, lots of power-ups, lots of parallax scroll, lots of good effects for a 16-bit game. It's really excellent. So this is one of my personal favorite games. I've loved it for a long time. So play it whatever way you can. It's really great.